Good afternoon. Today's lecture is devoted to observation methods in the classroom. In pedagogical practice, observation occupies a special place because it allows the teacher to work with the educational process as it unfolds in real time. Unlike abstract assumptions, observational data make it possible to examine actual behavior, participation, interaction, and learning difficulties in their natural setting. For this reason, observation should be regarded as one of the fundamental instruments of pedagogical analysis. The goal of this lecture is to develop an informed understanding of observation methods in pedagogical practice, and to show how these methods may be used effectively in the analysis of the learning process, student behavior, and classroom interaction. At the same time, the lecture is intended to form practical skills in collecting, interpreting, and analyzing observational data, so that educational problems may be identified and teaching strategies adjusted accordingly. Thus, observation is presented not merely as a descriptive technique, but as a professional means of pedagogical decision-making. The objectives of the lecture clarify its practical orientation. It is necessary to become familiar with the principal observation methods used in pedagogy, to understand how they may be applied to the assessment of learning and behavior, and to develop the ability to analyze the data obtained through observation. A further objective is to prepare future teachers to identify classroom problems on the basis of evidence rather than impression, and to modify instructional strategies in response to what has been observed. Observation in pedagogy is defined here as a systematic process through which the teacher gathers information about students' behavior, learning activity, and interaction in the classroom. Its importance lies precisely in its systematic character. Observation is not passive watching. It is purposeful and structured attention directed toward educationally significant details. The reasons for conducting observation are equally important. It helps teachers understand students more fully, identify learning difficulties, recognize behavioral characteristics, and evaluate the effectiveness of instructional methods. In this way, observation provides the basis for informed pedagogical adjustment and more responsive teaching. Several forms of observation are distinguished in pedagogical practice. Natural observation takes place under ordinary classroom conditions without altering the environment. Purposeful observation is organized around a clearly defined aim, such as examining participation or engagement. A further distinction is made between participant and non-participant observation, depending on whether the teacher is actively involved in the process or remains in the position of an external observer. The slide rightly notes that for diagnosing academic difficulties, purposeful and non-participant observation are often especially useful. Their advantage lies in greater objectivity and clearer focus. A particularly important method for analyzing student behavior is ABC analysis. This method considers three elements: what precedes the behavior itself, and the consequences that follow it. Such sequence is pedagogically valuable because it allows the teacher to move beyond the surface of behavior and consider the conditions that produce it. The example given on the slide is instructive. Distraction may arise not from unwillingness alone, but from misunderstanding of the task. If so, the behavioral problem is linked directly with instructional difficulty. Observation in this case becomes a means of diagnosis rather than mere control. The next method is deviation tracking, which is used to identify non-constructive forms of behavior such as aggression, refusal to participate, or repeated lateness. Its value lies in regularity. By documenting such behavior systematically, the teacher is better able to detect patterns and distinguish incidental episodes from more stable problems related to discipline, motivation, or social adaptation. The slide also refers to the success assessment method. Here the teacher observes how students carry out academic tasks, whether they follow instructions, how engaged they remain, and how effectively assignments are completed. This method not only reveals difficulties but also helps the teacher identify common mistakes and provide more personalized support. The concluding point of the lecture is that observation is an essential tool of pedagogical practice. Its educational value lies in early identification of problems, evaluation of teaching effectiveness, and support for student development through evidence-based decisions. Systematic observation contributes not only to better classroom management but also to more precise and effective learning outcomes. For this reason, observational competence should be treated as a necessary part of the teacher's professional preparation. Thank you for your attention. I hope this lecture has clarified the role of observation methods in pedagogical analysis and has shown their significance for understanding student behavior and improving teaching practice.